So it looks like the Biden-Sanders task force, the unity task force, if you will, that was supposedly, going to merge the ideas of the neoliberal corporatist Biden campaign and platform with the more, I would say maybe, I would on the global terms, Bernie Sanders is a moderate, so his moderate policies with Biden's corporate neoliberal policies, and again, it was just a show. There's nothing ever real substantive policy wise was going to come from that, and despite the title of this NBC News article, nothing came from it. So let's take a look. Again, that's a deeply deceptive title of this article. Democratic Task Force sent Biden a progressive policy roadmap. There's no Medicare for all during a fucking pandemic. How is that progressive? There's no Green New Deal as the world fucking burns. And I guess, for fuck's sake, he's not even legalizing goddamn marijuana in 2020 when state after state is legalizing it, spring water, for recreational use. For fuck's sake. Let's see. Unity Task Force, they appointed in April to find common ground in 6 key areas: climate change, again, no Green New Deal, criminal justice reform, the economy, education, healthcare, no Medicare for all. The United States is one of the basically only developed, so-called developer and industrialized countries in the world that does not guarantee healthcare as a human right. We spend twice compared to other countries. We have horrible health outcomes because it's for profit, because the health insurance companies, pharmaceutical industries gouge people. They literally make money off of people's sickness and death. That's the kind of shit Joe Biden wants to prop up, for fuck's sake. And this whole fucking committee was a sham. Bernie Sanders sold out right away without getting any type of policy concessions. And again, was it Hedges? I think Chris Hedges likes to point out how Bernie Sanders is a sheepdog for the Democratic Party, and he's totally right. Let's see. So a review of the 110-page document provided to NBC News in advance of its public release offers fresh evidence. Again, this is just more NBC News trying to put a spin on this to maybe get more Bernie people to vote for Biden. I'm not doing that. You can make your own choice. Having held firmly to the center in a Democratic primary that began with a record field of candidates racing left, is open to some, but not all the progressive wing's approaches. I don't think they're open to any of it, frankly. For fuck's sake. God damn. The healthcare task force, for instance, focused on ways to expand coverage through Biden's firmly held position of building on the Affordable Care Act. Just big fucking giveaways to the health insurance companies, rather than pursuing a single-payer system like Medicare for all that would save tens of thousands of lives a year and billions of dollars. That's actually, if they wanted to add context, that's what they should have done. But the climate task force, co-chaired by AOC, recommended a more aggressive timeline for achieving net zero carbon emissions than Biden had called for in a campaign. Both sides and then so AOC, people like that join this committee, you're just giving credence to this fucking bullshit while getting nothing substantive out of it. So what are you, another sheepdog for the Democratic Party? I would argue yes. For fuck's sake. Let's see. And again, this is no Medicare for all in this fucking Unity Task Force during a fucking pandemic where tens of millions of people have lost their employer-based health care. And, Biden was interviewed, I believe it was on 60 Minutes, saying if it somehow passed the House and Senate, he would veto it. That's fucking Joe Biden. Neoliberal corporatist to his fucking core. For fuck's sake. And again, one of the reasons that Joe Biden won is because all of the, other Democrats, Obama is working behind the scene to get everybody else to drop out and prop up Joe Biden, or more than likely Bernie Sanders would have fact been the candidate, not to mention the failings on Bernie's part, not wanting to go after Joe Biden because he's his friend, not wanting to really hammer him on the issues and call him out for his bullshit. So there's a lot of blame to go around, frankly. I mean, for fuck's sake. I commend the task force for their service in helping build a bold, transformative platform for our party and our country, and I'm deeply grateful to Senator Sanders for working together, unite our party, and deliver real lasting change for just a bunch of fucking word salad platitudes, just bullshit wath, offering nothing of substance. That's the Democratic Party at its core. You know, talking a good talk, and then leaving you with shit in your hand at the end of the day, basically. I mean, for fuck's sake. And then here's fucking Sanders toeing the party line. Sanders said that while he, Biden, and their supporters have strong disagreements about some policy issues, we also understand we must come together in order to defeat Donald Trump, the most dangerous president in modern American history. I mean, frankly, he hasn't started any wars like George W. Bush did. He didn't start the fucking Iraq war that was wasted trillions of dollars, 500,000+ Iraqi civilians killed, destroyed the region, led to fucking the creation of ISIS as the power gap that was filled after taking out Saddam. I mean, Trump is horrible, but I mean, let's remember the Iraq War under George Bush was an illegal offensive war that, again, 500+ fucking thousand Iraqi civilians were killed as well. It's probably, frankly, a lot higher than that. I mean, for God's sakes, Bernie, get your shit together. Policies Republicans characterize as radical reform, including the Green New Deal. And again, the Green New Deal, and especially Medicare for All, are supported by a vast majority of Democratic voters. The biggest reason when people were making the switch from Bernie to Biden was because they were the one, or they thought Biden was the one who could defeat Donald Trump. You know why? Because Biden said that, and the Bernie went out there and said the same fucking thing. He wasn't campaigning to win at all. It was a fucking travesty. Defunding the police is not fucking radical when you've seen what they've been doing to communities of color and other marginalized and oppressed groups since their formation in the United States, and continuing during the uprisings that happened after George Floyd was murdered by the Minneapolis Police Department. And yes, abolish fucking ICE. But look, none of those, I mean, particularly glaring, obviously, because again, a vast majority of voters support Medicare for All. A vast majority of Democratic voters support Medicare for All. A majority support a Green New Deal, for fuck's sake. The world is burning. I mean, it hit 100 degrees in the Arctic recently. 30+ million people, I believe, lost their employer-based health care as a result of this economic crisis during the pandemic. That's not fucking radical. And this fucking task force couldn't even support 2 of those fucking things. I mean, goddamn. Fucking burn that piece of shit. There's not... God... And then you got, Bernie's former fucking campaign lackeys here. But former Sanders campaign manager Faiz Shakur, who has been a key part of the union efforts, argued that doing so asks you to ignore the reality of what happened in the primary, and Biden and Sanders' philosophical differences were regularly on display. Joe Biden, who is evolving with the times, but he doesn't support Medicare for All during the pandemic, leading tens of thousands of people to die in the United States because they don't have access to health care, and it still leaves 10 million people without insurance. I mean, for fuck's sake. This is... It's just bullshit. 110 pages of fucking bullshit. And then you get this fucking piecemeal shit. Helping frontline workers. New guidelines on policing use of force measures. Housing. Outsourcing jobs. Addressing healthcare address healthcare fucking disparities? Medicare for All, so everybody's fucking covered, for fuck's sake. I mean, come on. You got Bernie out there propping up this fucking piece of shit task force. You have Bernie's former campaign manager. You got fucking Biden and his fucking team. I'll link this article in the description box down below. But again, it's a fucking piece of warm dog shit. Nothing of real substance. Again, just these small little tweaks around the edges that doesn't change anything about how fundamentally backwards the United States is, not guaranteeing healthcare as a fucking human right when we spend basically twice as much as other developed and other industrialized countries that guarantee it as a right, and we have horrible health outcomes. You know why? Because there's a for-profit motive in the healthcare system in the U.S. That shouldn't be there, obviously. Same with the fucking Green New Deal. The world is fucking burning, and it's too radical. It's too radical for this task force. Bernie, Biden, they can all go fuck off. It's ridiculous. Peace.